Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from AnthonyMorganti.com, and this is episode 208 of Photo Critiques. And in this episode, I'm pleased to critique the work of Dwi Siaga Wanto. I hope I said your name close. Dwi sent me in some really interesting images. This first one of the fireworks, really well done as far as the exposure. Did a real nice job. 30 seconds f11 ISO 100. And fireworks aren't really that hard to photograph. If you guys aren't familiar with how to do it, generally how you would do it, you have your camera on a tripod with a remote shutter release, and you set your camera up for bulb, they call it. And that's when you press the shutter once and the shutter button once, it opens the shutter, and the shutter stays open until you press the shutter button again. So you could leave it open for an hour. You could leave it open for a second or two. What you do though is you try to anticipate when these fireworks are going to go up. You'd open the shutter. Now because it's dark out, you're not really going to overexpose anything. When the burst goes off, you could leave it open. Let's say this one burst went off. You could leave it open, another one went off, another one went off, then you could choose to close it, or you could just leave it open, longer until you get a lot of bursts like Dwi did here. Now, one thing about fireworks displays and photographing them that pushes them over the top is usually what makes them a really nice shot is something on the ground that kind of gets reflected by, light from the fireworks gets reflected onto these things on the ground. And that really will push it over the top. Now in this case we just have a tree over here, and we really don't have anything that you could really make out. So it's just this is what we're looking at, and it's nice and colorful, and it's a nice job, and it's real crystal clear. But really, to push the fireworks displays over the top, scout the area ahead of time during the day and try to figure out where you could set up your camera where you're going to have something really interesting down here. Maybe it's boat, or maybe it's just even if it's last minute thing, and you have people with you, and maybe like a mom and dad holding a child, and you have them silhouetted looking at the fireworks, stuff like that. That will really push the photograph over the top. Now this one here, see, we have this here, which is kind of interesting. We have some people looking at the fireworks. Now Dwi decided to do the reflections in the water of the fireworks. That's fine, but I think in this case, this would have been kind of an interesting shot if you maybe backed up just a little bit, zoomed out just a little bit. I'm not sure where we were on this lens. 22 milli, you're pretty well zoomed out, but maybe you can move back a little bit and or reposition yourself so you get more of this boat, more of the people sitting on top of that boat, and point your camera up and get the actual fireworks in the sky. I think that would have been an interesting shot. This is neat. This is a long, 10-second exposure of a campfire, and it's kind of got this cool effect going here. Now, on this shot, I like the composition. It's a little bit tight. You've got, some embers down here that are just going off. I think if you could have backed it out just a little bit, it would have helped. And I think really you need something in this shot. You need people. So if you had, some children sitting here around the campfire, and you could stage it a little bit. Maybe there's two kids and one's whispering in the other one's ear, campfire story type thing, or you have an adult sitting here, somebody playing a guitar, stuff like that. It could be cliche, but be creative with it. Then take it away from cliche and make it more creative. Use your imagination. Off the top of my head, all I'm thinking of are cliches, but you get the idea. I think what would really push this shot over the top, I've been saying that a lot in this critique, is have people in this one. This is a neat shot. This cat has some very unusual eyes. They're really cool. Very nice focus. Really well done. Very nice focus on the eyes. And it's a nice shot. We got kind of, this is in focus. Everything else is blurry. So it's it's a nice shot. Really well done. This is nice too. This is a really nice macro shot of this fly. You can see the focus is just stupendous. Really well done. You might want to consider, I don't like cropping a lot, I like getting things in camera, but that is a pretty cool shot right there. So if you wanted to crop it down, you have enough definition to really show that off. So that's a pretty cool shot right there. But it is a nice shot. It's an interesting shot too. The water buffalo coming through. There's a big herd of them working their way through the water, and you can see the focus is really well done on the eye there at 1/640th of a second f of 5.6. It was 100 millimeters on his 18 to 135 millimeter lens. Really well done. Another, from the same scene. I don't think this one is as strong as this one because this one's kind of showing action, the water flying about, and the strained look on the water buffalo's face. And on this one here, not as much, but we still have, it's still an interesting shot. This is an interesting shot. Again, a macro shot. Look at this focus. Super well done. That's what you really want, is this great focus. Really a very nice shot. And I should mention the focus is on the eyes. I know I may be neglecting because I say that every critique it seems, but the focus is on the eyes, and that's where you want it. And it's a super, super strong shot. This one here, the focus is on the eyes too, I think. Yeah, this one's a little softer. But working against this one, we have this very bright area that's out towards the outside of the frame, and we generally don't want anything too bright. We don't want the brightest part of the picture in the corners, at the top, or at the bottom. We want the brighter part of the picture towards the middle, because that's where our eyes go. So our subject is this guy here, and our eyes are trying to look up here. So that makes the picture look unbalanced to the person who's viewing it. So, and what's not helping it is we have this really dark area down here. So in this case here, you got to really be aware of the background and what the backdrop is going to be of what you're photographing. So, the damselfly or dragonflies land down here, and this part's is going to be in the shot. So you got to reposition yourself in such a way where the background isn't overwhelming. You can of course crop this down. Again, I'm big like a proponent of getting it in camera, so that helps minimize that bright part back here. But it's still not super great composition because the bright part is there. It just looks awkward. This dragonflies here are not in super tight focus, and there is some noise in the shot. This lightning, you do a similar thing to lightning that you do with fireworks. You put your camera on bulb. A lot of people, they might use 10-second exposures too, and you could time it. You could count when you see a flash of lightning and hear the thunder, and you could kind of hear some, and you could kind of get a cadence of when these the lightning bolts might occur. But the easiest way to do it is you put your camera on bulb, use a remote shutter release and a tripod. You open the shutter up and just wait for a couple bolts to fly through the air, and then close the shutter. Now, similar to the fireworks, you want something very interesting down here that gets reflected by the fireworks. I mean, you've seen these great shots of like the American plains where there's like a windmill, and it's just all flat land, and there's a windmill, and there's like ominous looking sky, and there's lightning bolts all through the sky. That's what makes the shot, is that windmill. If that windmill wasn't there, it wouldn't be nowhere near as interesting. Now we have rooftops here, but they're not overly interesting. So again, you got to try to position yourself in a way where that's safe. First and foremost, you don't want to get killed by lightning, but you want to get something interesting as the main subject, and the lightning is really illuminating it when it goes off. It's a nice shot. I like this composition. You got this pier coming out. You have nice sunset here. You have a foreground element, and it's really well done. Very nice shot. I think that's the last one. Yep, that's it. Dwi, thank you very much for sharing your work with us. I really do appreciate it. Thank you everyone that watches all my videos. I really do appreciate that. And if you guys could, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com, and check out all the photography stuff I have over there. And if you have time, I'd really appreciate it if you went to YouTube and subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.